YouTube beauties, it's Amy aka Dreadlock Mama. I thought I would do my 5-week update real quick while I'm here in the van. Seems like that's been the easiest way here over the last few weeks since I'm now back into life and doing things, which actually kind of sucks because it feels like it's an awful lot all at once. But anyways, I'm going to start out with my stats and then we'll get into that just a little bit. But I am 41 years old. I am 5'2". I just had surgery on March the 12th, Monday, March the 12th, 2018 at St. Vincent's Bariatric Center of Excellence in Carmel, Indiana with Dr. Christopher Evanson. My highest weight that I ever saw on the scale was 298.7. My doctor confirmed that I have weighed in at just a little over 300 pounds at one point. And day of surgery, I was down to 273. I weighed 274 when I got home right after surgery, and I am now down to 241, which is a pretty significant weight loss since last week. I weighed in last week on my scale and at the surgery center at 249. So I've dropped like 8 pounds in a week. I didn't really expect that. I'm not sure why I've had such a big weight loss over this past week. Not that I've been cheating or anything, as if I even could. But anyways, just that it was just a surprising amount to me. I have been kind of sick for a few days, and it is coming up on my time of the month, so that seems a little bit counterintuitive. A lot of us are used to gaining weight like right before a period, but because I think that this may be why, because I'm eating so few calories right now, and you actually require more calories when it's your time of the month. Maybe that's why I've dropped so much weight this week. I don't know. So but getting back to what I was talking about, it's sucking that you have to get out and do so many things all of a sudden. You know, I think you kind of get used to being able to be at home right after surgery and have your supplements right next to you. You've got everything there to measure your food right there at home. You know what you can eat, and it's just really you kind of fall into a routine. Then all of a sudden you're able to get out and do things, and it's like, at least for me, I feel just like slammed with everything at once. So I feel like every day I'm out running, and that can be really challenging, something you need to be prepared for. And I may have already said this before, but just make sure that when you get out, even if you have to take your whole, like I just grabbed my whole box of supplements and brought them with me this morning because I didn't have time to separate them out. I just grabbed up the whole thing. I made sure last night that I packed my food because I knew I'd be out all day. I took my son, who's in the van here with me, to get his braces off today. And I knew they told me to be prepared that it was going to be a really long day. I have to take him to a special orthodontist, and so his orthodontist is like an hour and a half away from our house, and I knew this was going to be an all-day thing. So, you know, you can't just stop through the drive-thru anymore. At least you better not be stopping through the drive-thru. So you got to make sure you're prepared and that you brought everything with you. Make sure you've got all your fluids with you. If you're going to be gone long enough and you're not going to be able to get your protein shakes in, you need to at least bring a tumbler with some protein powder in it so that you can add the water and mix that up, and make sure you've got that with you. So just be prepared for that. It can be kind of hard jumping back into life. And so on and off today, I've had to remember to just, you know, dig into that box and grab out a supplement and take it to make sure I get everything in by this evening. Because if you start making excuses now, like, okay, I'm just too busy today, it's okay if I skip this, it's okay if I skip that, before you know it, you've really missed a lot of your supplement intake, and you're really going to find yourself deficient. And it is really hard once you're deficient in something to get those levels back up to where they need to be. So I'll quit preaching about that. But anyways, I mentioned excuse me, that I'd been a little bit sick. I had another spell. I think I told you guys that I'd had a period of time where I'd been really, like, my stomach had been cramping really bad. I had another spell like that Tuesday of this week leading into Wednesday, where I don't know what happened. I don't know if I actually was sick. One of my little boys told me that he was having diarrhea, so I don't know if I got a stomach bug or what, but I know that I ate my lunch late. Don't ask me how, but I forgot to eat lunch, and I didn't realize it until like 5 o'clock that I hadn't had my lunch yet. Part of that's being so busy again. And so when I got home, I already had a chicken baking in the oven, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna eat one of these soft cheese wedges, and that'll, hold me over, because my stomach was really like not feeling right. And so I thought, well, that'll make it feel better, and I can wait till supper later. So I ate that soft cheese wedge. I got like halfway through it, and I immediately started vomiting. So I told you this before. If you don't know, with bariatric surgery, vomiting is not really the same as it was before, and you're still throwing up. And excuse me for the graphic nature of this, but I told you guys before, I want this channel to be helpful. So in order for it to be helpful, I have to be real about everything so you understand. So it's a little bit easier, actually, let's put it that way, to vomit after bariatric surgery, because you don't have all that acid, and the acid is one thing that really makes that super unpleasant. So vomiting's unpleasant no matter what, but not as unpleasant as it was before, but it's still hard. And so I vomited all evening, Tuesday evening, could not even keep water down. Every time I would think, okay, my stomach settled down, I'm going to try to get some water in, because I hadn't got much water in earlier that day, maybe 8 ounces. And so, because I get a lot more water in the evening after I sit down and calm down, and I can sit there and watch TV and drink my water or whatever. But anyways, I ended up super dehydrated, super weak on Wednesday. I'm still not sure what happened. I don't know. So we'll see if that happens again. If I continue to have issues like that without any real trigger, I'll definitely have to talk to my surgeon about that and maybe figure out what that was. I don't know. And it could even be that I'm coming up on my time of the month, and so it could even be hormones. I haven't really been like that in the past, but you never know. Anyways, and speaking of that, so I've got this new thing that I need to confess, and you guys are probably going to laugh at me. If anybody else does this, I want you to leave comments below so I don't feel like such a freak, okay? But leading up to this past week, I've really been okay with food, just like not even cared about it. I had really gotten that under control. The first 2 weeks after surgery were a nightmare when it came to that, and I just felt so deprived. And then after that, I was just cruising. I was okay with it. I didn't care about it. And then since this week has been leading up to my period, and I'm so hungry, I'm sitting and I found myself watching hours and hours of this guy on YouTube that does competitive eating. He takes on eating challenges, and I'm watching hours and hours of this guy like eating nachos and huge cheeseburgers and french fries and shakes and food from all over the world. He's done like 500 food challenges. It's something crazy like that. I've watched him do Taco Bell challenges and McDonald's challenges. And it's not that I want to eat like that myself. There's something about watching him eat that food that comforts me. And I mean, I guess for a period of time I was doing that a little bit with, I loved watching Master Chef Junior. Those little kids are so cute anyways. But when it like came time for the judges to taste the food, I'm always like telling my kids, shh, shh. Because I don't want anybody making any noise. I want to hear their reaction. I want to watch them taste that food. It's hilarious. I say it's really funny, but it may not be very funny. I'm pretty sure it points to deep psychological issues. So if you have any insight on that, please let me know. But it's something I didn't expect. But I seriously, like at night, I get so hungry right now that I just can't stop myself. I'll watch him on YouTube till I go to sleep, eating all this crazy food. Anyways, okay, so enough about that. But I am doing well, other than those little spells that I'm having where I'm getting sick sometimes. it's, you know, I have a feeling it's all just part of having bariatric surgery, recent bariatric surgery. There's going to be all kinds of things that are going to trigger and, you know, that kind of reaction. And really, from what I hear, it just varies from person to person. When it happened to me the other day, I had added a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg to my protein powder, and I don't know if that's what made me sick. I just have no idea what triggered it. So it could have been a multitude of things. You know, before I thought maybe I was eating too fast, and then I thought, well, maybe I'm taking supplements too close to time for me to eat. I don't know. So it could be any of those things. It could be none of those things. I don't know. But we'll get through it. I'll get through it. It won't be long until I'm far enough past it that, you know, those issues will become less and less and less. But I'm sure it's going to be a learning curve over time. So, all right, guys. So that's my 5-week update. If you didn't watch my last update, make sure you check that out. I go through all my vitamin supplements, talk about where I bought them from, excuse me, and just give you some information on that. I am going to be giving myself a B12 injection soon, so I will make sure that I film that and show you guys what that's about. For those of you who aren't squeamish when it comes to needles, you might want to check that out, because a lot of you will be needing to do B12 injections, because the nasal spray, unfortunately, is uber expensive and insurances don't like to pay for it. So I'll show you that coming up here soon. But I think that's it for now, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next week, or maybe before then. Don't forget to like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you get the notifications. Hit that little bell so that you get notifications anytime I make a new video. And I'm just going to try to keep uploading more and more content. So bye, guys.